Mark, we're here today at the ground to talk about the Pixellot launch, which is obviously something you've been a big part in helping with. Just talk us through how it all happened.
Well, do you know what's funny? I've always loved Albion Rovers, and I've always been a Celtic fan and an Albion Rovers fan, and I didn't know which way my allegiance really lay until about 2.5 years ago. I was at the Celtic Albion Rovers game up in Airdrie, and I thought it was about 50-50, and I realised I was 70-30 because Celtic put in 3 goals in the second half, and I was raging. And I saw the Celtic fans jumping, and I was like, hang on a minute. And I realised that's in my heart of hearts, I was an Albion Rovers guy. But my dad was a big Rovers fan, and he came. I mean, he was in his late 40s when I was born, so he was there in the 30s and 40s. So it was real glory days and everything. So I always grew up with this really romantic idea of the Rovers, and I've always loved the community side of it as well. If you come to a game, you bump into 200 people who you know, and it takes half an hour to get out of the stadium. So I've always loved it, and so when it came to COVID, I was suddenly a bit nervous. I was like, hang on a minute, all these clubs, even first division clubs, are going to really struggle here. Like, there's no money around, there's no fans to get money in, doesn't matter how good you are, there's no fans can come in and pay people's wages. So I had to come up with a plan. What I love about it actually is it's the idea of a small club like Albion Rovers actually being at the pioneering cutting edge, with Stenhouse Muir, at the cutting edge of technology they don't have in London, they don't have in Italy, they don't have in Brazil. This is a new thing, and I actually think it's going to be a game changer for football in general. And to begin with, it's going to be a Scottish football game changer because it's important to monetise. I mean, football's a business, and if you don't get tickets, then you can't pay your players. Your place closes. So I kind of love the idea of the club getting richer as a result of this, because you'd imagine right now it was a rescue package was the original idea, but the idea is we could actually make this a global thing. So expats living in Canada or Australia or New Zealand, all my cousins, the first thing they want to do when they come here is get a square sausage and watch an Albion Rovers game, so they can actually watch it from Taronga or wherever they're living. And I love the idea of that, but it also will open up new fans who maybe just can't get into games or can't be bothered coming out in the rain and everything, so they can watch these games at home. So it means, football's for 140 years, football's kind of had the same business plan, which is try and get as many bodies in the stadium as you can, build as many seats as you possibly can to get these people in and sell them pies and scarves. And we now luckily live in an age where you don't need to do that anymore, which is really exciting. So people can actually watch it from anywhere in the world, and if it's a pay-per-view, then the club is really going to benefit from this. And what was really interesting is the minute I teamed up with the SPL, Ian at the SPL, and also my friend Liam, who runs the digital side of all of this, his company is super exciting. He's building this into this global phenomenon. The minute I teamed up with them, I thought, okay, we're going to have maybe a wee battle here with the SPL, because it can't just be Albion Rovers. I'll fund the Albion Rovers side of it, but every club in Scotland has to get in on this. And I thought we might have a few months of trying to talk people into it. Everybody jumped on it. So 24 clubs are already signed up for this, which is just phenomenal.
Was it a case for yourself, Mark, that obviously when you seen the club were asking for donations during the kind of uncertainty period we just had, was that when you thought to yourself, God, I really need to help out in some way?
Well, it was funny during COVID. Your mind's wandered to all sorts of things in COVID, isn't it? And you're kind of like, I hope this pal's business is okay, and I hope this guy doesn't lose his job and everything. And then I suddenly thought about Rovers, and it was on Facebook. I'm on the Albion Rovers Facebook page, and I saw a thing where they were trying to raise 10 grand, and I was thinking, that's not going to last that long. I think it hit 11 grand or something. I thought, that's a short-term solution. We need to come up with something here that's going to work. And I was saying to my wife one night, I was like, quite worried about Albion Rovers as we were going to bed. And next morning, I woke up and I had this plan, that the beginnings of this plan. And then I phoned round the boss at the BBC, I phoned the head of ITV and everything next morning, and was trying to get some kind of package going that was a more traditional television package. And I realised it takes forever to get decisions out of people, so I thought we have to do it ourselves. All the best stuff gets done by small groups of people, and it suddenly just seemed super exciting. Then we could just do it in our own terms and do it when we want, and it's from nowhere we now have this, which is going to revolutionise the game in Scotland.
Just to touch on the fans, finally, you teased them a wee bit on Twitter. I think some people are maybe expecting it next documentary, maybe something not that far, but will you be looking to help out the club in future and
well, do you know, it's
stay in contact?
Because a lot of people said, oh my god, yeah, of course. I mean, I've signed on to pay for this for 3 years, for the robotic camera system and the AI refs. So I'll be involved certainly for the next 3 years. I mean, it should be self-sustaining beyond that, though. The big thing I think is really important is it's always a mistake to just pour money into something. I think you've just got to reinvent the wheel, and that's really exciting, because then it's limitless what can be done then. But I mean, I'm doing this as a private individual, not as a Netflix executive. But I must admit, quietly, I would love to, drop a word into Netflix and see if we can get Netflix involved somehow as time goes on. I need to build up my brownie points at the company, and then try and squeeze some American dollars out, But wouldn't it be awesome, Is there a reality show in this even as well? The highlights packages or something, I think there's a lot of conversations to be had over the next couple of years.